Hey everybody, Robert here from blackbeltgaming, continuing to read through Adventures Dark and Deep. This is first edition AD&D Expanded. We're in the subclasses of Thief. We did the Assassin previously, so the Mountebank is today's class, and this is a class I'm not familiar with in the game of Dungeons & Dragons, so this may be a brand new one. I don't know the origins of this, where it came from, if it was a Dragon magazine thing or something Gygax developed himself or talked about. I'm just not sure. I'd have to ask the author. So, dexterity of 9 is required, intelligence of 10, and a charisma of 12. Centaurs, dwarves, drow, elves, high elves, gnomes, half-drow, Harefoot halfling, stout halfling, and humans can all be a mountebank. D6 for hit dice. Any alignment is fine as long as it's non-lawful. Weapons allowed, things like clubs, hand crossbows, daggers, darts, garrote, knives, sap, sling, longsword, short sword, quarterstaff, all of these things. Armor, we're seeing the pattern here. Any armor is allowed, so it doesn't seem to be a typo. Basically, I just don't think you can do the thief skills nearly as well when you're heavily armored. So they have a range of abilities: alchemy, disguise, performing, spell casting, verbal patter, kind of like the bard, I guess. So let's check them out. They're a subclass of thief. And we're basically looking at them as a con man class. They're here to distract you, steal from you, rip you off, all of these kind of things. So they do have some of the traditional abilities of a thief, but maybe not all of them. We'll just have to see. I haven't read this class completely through. If a mountebank ever becomes a lawful alignment, they may rise in level but no longer increase the chance of using their skills. If their alignment turns back to non-lawful, they regain the use of their increased skills, if any. That's interesting. So, shifting of alignment. I didn't have that happen so many times during my games back in the day. But level advancement, to go from level 1 to 2, it's going to take 1,750 experience points, D6 per level for hit points. They start with a 1 skill level in disguise, the thespianism disguise. And they use this to change their appearance, making it more difficult for a mark to pursue them if they discover his con. And here we have a monster of a word, prestidigitation. So little hands quicker than the eye tricks here. Just like my daughter this morning wanted me to take a 10 yen coin and make it disappear and reappear behind her ear. So let's take a look and see. A first level mountebank can juggle at 25%. This will increase about 5% per level after that. Knife throwing, I'm going to need to review that again, but it's a +0, +1 bonus. We'll take a look at that when it comes up. Pickpockets is 30%, starting at first level. Again, rising about 5% per level. Sleight of hand starts at 35, and again is going to increase about 5% per level. It looks like here that performing and prestidigitation does have some bonuses and penalties dependent upon your race. So if you're a centaur, you're not going to be so good at picking pockets, minus 10% for you. Knife throwing, I don't know, it says 0 and 1. It could be a bonus there. Maybe it's an extra +1. Dwarves are not very good at juggling. Elves are better at juggling and pickpockets and sleight of hand, so they're good. They're kind of good across the board, aren't they? Gnomes, pretty good jugglers. Half-elves, better at picking pockets, but do have some bonuses here with juggling and sleight of hand. Halflings, gonna have to look why they have a -1 at knife throwing in the first category. Pickpockets, +5. Sleight of hand is -5. Why would that be? Maybe due to small hands, harder to conceal things. Half-orc, not as good as juggling. Knife throwing has some bonuses. Pickpockets, penalties, and sleight of hand is penalties. So moving down, dexterity modifiers as well. So looks like anything 11 and below, you're getting some penalties. And anything with a 15 or higher, you're going to start getting some bonuses. So if you've kind of, typically maxed out at 18, you're going to get with a dexterity, you're going to get a +15 to your juggle, +2, +1 for knife throwing. Pickpockets is +10, sleight of hand is +20. So that's some nice bonuses there if you've got a high dexterity. Here's the armor. So all types of armor are listed here, as well as the penalties associated with them. So if you're not wearing an armor, any type of armor, you're going to get a +5 to pickpockets and sleight of hand. But pretty much anything else, you're looking at penalties here, unless it's something like leather, one of the light armors. So anything ring mail, furs, brigandine, of course, plate armor, you're looking at some very heavy penalties. Plate armor, trying to pickpocket while you're wearing plate armor is -75%. So just don't. Juggling, we saw the number there, but it's the general art of tossing and catching things, cups, knives, torches, balls, etc. What does it do in combat? In combat, it says this can be used to intercept non-magical missiles targeting the Mountebank. So I don't think we've really had a monk class. There was the mystic, but I believe the monk used to have the ability to, can't remember if it was just deflect the missiles, but here they can actually intercept the non-magical missiles, and then they may immediately throw the object if it may ordinarily be thrown. An arrow, for instance, could not be. They can hold it or simply let it drop to the ground. This may be used against a number of incoming missiles equal to its level to a maximum of 6. Wow. If the Mountebank does immediately rethrow the missile, it does not count as his attack for the round. Juggling, but how many can he throw? Can he throw 6 back? That would be hilarious. Juggling cannot be done while the character is in melee. So if you're got somebody in your face, it's not going to work. So I guess you could. I mean, if a bunch of halflings were slinging stones at you, you could probably catch 6 and throw 6 back from what I'm reading. Let me know if you read it differently. Knife throwing. This allows the Mountebank to use small handheld missile weapons such as daggers, darts, axes, and so forth. The first number indicates the number of missiles per round that can be thrown as a modifier to the rate of fire. Okay, so thus a 4th level Mountebank could hurl 4 darts per round instead of 3. The second number is the bonus to hit. So that's what that is. In addition, they treat all such hurled missiles as being one range class closer, so long range becomes medium. Note that Mountebanks can use weapons not normally thought of as hurled weapons in such a fashion, with only the normal non-proficiency penalty to hit. Unless otherwise specified, this also applies to hurled magic items such as iron, bands of binding, etc. I'd have to look that up. If the adjusted rate of fire ever becomes less than 1, treat it as if it's a rate of fire of 1 every 2 rounds. Picking pockets, we're pretty familiar with that. No special things to note there. Sleight of hand, you can palm objects, ditch them, or switching small objects. We have the thieves' cant, the thieves' special language, communication from one mountebank to the other. So this is the shared language. So I don't think it's just strictly restricted to the mountebank. Yeah, it doesn't count against your number of languages that you know. The verbal patter, they also have this skill. It's one of the most important of their abilities, and it is at the heart of their powers of misdirection, confusion, and persuasion. So I think we're going to get to the breakdown here. We have attend and befuddle, trust, and value. So one category, one column is attend. The next one is befuddle, trust, and value. And the third column is distract and second look. Let's take a closer look. So it continues to list these as your level increases. But also, if your charisma is 16 or higher, you're going to start to get some bonuses, such as a charisma of 16 will give you a bonus of 5% to attend, and distract and second look will get a bonus of 10%. So these abilities are verbal in nature and therefore require the audience, the target here, to understand what is being said. The game master should use discretion in assigning bonuses or penalties to these abilities based on specific circumstances. So a drunken or hostile crowd might be particularly less likely to respond positively to a mountebank's efforts at persuading them to believe something. Each of these abilities requires 1 round, and subsequent uses in later rounds require additional rolls, but each gains a plus 5% bonus if the one before it has been successful, to a maximum of 95% chance of success. There are no racial bonuses to this, so just the charisma, and the patter lasts for 1 round regardless of the type. And if they want to continue, they're going to have to roll. So what is attend? Attend is used to gab. It's a speech to grab the attention of the audience or direct it to someone else to get them to listen to what is being said. It does not guarantee agreement. It's just for attention. Befuddle, using this ability, attempts to create confusion regarding some issue, fact, or event. So they can cause the audience to be unsure of what they once knew was for certain. So who did what or where something is. So kind of like a fast talk, I guess, here. Distract. Using this ability, they substitute one object of attention for another. For example, he could run up to guards on a castle parapet, urging them to look at the dragon attacking from the south, while his companion scales the north wall. If the character is successful, the target transfers his attention from one object to the other. We continue here with second look. By the use of this ability, the mountebank causes his audience to reevaluate a recent decision or judgment. If attempted after a successful use of question or befuddle, the mountebank gains a 10% bonus to succeed. The difference between this and question is that second look actively attempts to get the audience to change their mind, while question merely causes doubt. question may be from another class. I don't think question was listed here. It might be in the Bard section. Trust. With this ability, the mountebank attempts to persuade the audience that a third party, not, I think this is a typo, not the Bard himself, must have been some copied over text here, is worthy of trust and faith. This will not mean automatic acceptance of anything that the third party says, but it clearly makes him much more likely to be heeded. The third party in question must be an individual, not a group. So let me read that again just for myself. With this ability, they attempt to persuade the audience that a third party is worthy of their trust. The third party in question must be an individual. Okay. So you can get a group to try to think another individual is trustworthy. Value. The mountebank attempts to make his audience revere and generally have a high opinion of a particular person or thing. All right. Well, it's kind of similar to trust, isn't it? Advanced ability descriptions. Alchemy. In addition to his knowledge of magic. Have we looked at magic yet? I don't think so. In addition to his knowledge of magic, the mountebank has a smattering of alchemical knowledge starting at 5th level. This is often used in the production of patent medicines, which are sold as remedies for various ailments, often also claiming to be genuine magic potions. Okay, snake oil salesman, right? Sometimes they even work. The chances of successfully creating either a medicine for a particular ailment or a genuine magic potion are given below. Looks like starting at 5th level, you have a 20% chance to make medicine. You aren't able to really create a magic potion until level 8. And at level 8, you have a 10% chance to do that. The cost of creating some medicine is 50 gold pieces. The cost of creating a magic potion is 25% of the listed gold piece value. In game terms, a genuine patent medicine heals 1 to 4 hit points of damage or cures one specific ailment. Only one can be ingested per day with any effect. Note that the mountebank won't know whether or not his attempt was successful. If the result was a failure, the game master should roll on the failure subtable to determine the actual result. Uh-oh. And there it is. A percentage die here on a failed attempt. 0, 1 to 75 is snake oil. It has no effect. 76 to 99, it functions as a potion of delusion, where the drinker believes that the potion actually worked as intended. But if you roll a 00, 100 on the percentile dice, it's poison. Suffers 10 hit points of damage, save versus poison to half that much. All right, here we go. Spell casting ability. Mountebanks are able to cast spells, but do not gain them automatically when they advance in level. Rather, the mountebank obtain spells haphazardly while adventuring and are able to copy them onto their spell books. No special spells or magical inks are required. Note that while they are able to copy spells from magic users, illusionists, and savants, the reverse is not true. Regular spellcasters cannot understand the abbreviated notation mountebanks use when writing down their spells. They can, of course, copy the spells from other mountebank spell books into their own. Mountebanks can memorize a number of spells based on their level. So a 5th level mountebank can have 1 first level spell available. And 6th level is 2 first and 1 second, and kind of advances as such. Mountebanks cannot memorize any additional spells after 10th. So you're kind of maxed out there. 3 first level spells, 3 second level spells, 2/3 and 2/4. That's as many as you're going to get, and that's at level 10. And that is it. I didn't see any of the other more traditional thief skills like hiding in shadows and doing these other kind of things. I just didn't see it. So we're looking mainly here at performing little tricks and persuading people, almost like the bard did. So a little bit of a chance to gain some use to a few magical spells, maybe make up some medicines or potions that may or may not work. But it's kind of an interesting mix of things. Kind of might be fun to check it out. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Let me know what you think of this class, and I'll catch you later.